Hello, this is David with Barrett Baits. I'm going to do a little bit of painting tonight for you guys. I'm going to go with a shad pattern, what I would call a natural shad. Um, I don't know how this is going to work with two cameras. This is my first time doing that, but we'll see how I can edit this out. I don't know. But I'm going to go ahead and get started with my base coat. I'm going to go with white. And here's where I'll probably raise some eyebrows. Instead of using a reducer for my whites and a lot of other colors too, I use the blue windshield wiper fluid like you use for your car. And I stir it up and mix it just like I would any other reducer to make it look like a milk consistency. But I've found that it works better for me on whites, reds, and yellows, and to be honest, that's almost all I use anymore is that blue windshield wiper fluid. I would not use the stuff for bugs, the green type, but this stuff really does work, and I use it between colors also. I'll try to keep the noise down whenever I'm heat setting with the hair dryer, but if I miss a little bit, sorry. I always try to do a light coat to begin with, even though it's your base coat. I feel like whatever you do to the bait to begin with is going to show. I always sand the ridges and like the seam on the top and bottom, and if there's any little flaws, I get those off with my X-Acto knife. Get it good and covered. I try to do a good base coat, and I can see a few thin spots, so I'm going to go back and hit those. Now, even though I did a white base coat, and almost every time I do this, I go back with a white pearl on top. It shows, even when you go over it with darker colors, you'll get a nicer color underneath, shining through. I'm just going to use this small mesh material here, and that's how I'll get my scale pattern. You never want to touch the bait with your bare hands, so I try to have at least one glove, and I use these little clips to just lightly secure this. You can trim the excess off, and if it's a big section like that, and to make it easier, you just trim that off. It's cheap enough just to throw it away after first use. I do anyway. Pull it up, and you don't want that clip to scratch your paint down there. You just get it tight enough, because if it's not tight, the paint will go under it and that it won't look right. And just work your way up. On the back piece here, I try to pull it back and down. That way any little frays will be out of the way. And I pull this front down sort of like this, and I pinch these forward, kind of at a taper. That way I can get a V there for the clip to cover. And on this I'm going to use a couple of these on the edge of the bill, little alligator clips. Got some more somewhere in here. The tighter you can get all this stuff, the better. I'm going to pull those up to hold that piece. You see what I did there? It nice and tight. I got a little bit down here that can be a little tighter. That ain't gonna hurt nothing. And now that I have that attached, I try to be real careful whenever I put that on. And on this, I have a little bit of pearl white in here still, and in my gun. So I'm going to dump that out. I'm going to add just a little bit of pearl black. I'm going for a gray look, so you don't need very much. Since I didn't put very much in there, I'm just going to do a couple drips of this. Now I'm going to start on the top. Just slowly get color in, and down the sides try to get to about that lateral line area. And just doing a really light coat. I'm going to dump this back in here, this gray that I made, but I'm going to add some purple to it. Just give it a little bit of a different look. I want this to be more of a natural color to it, not just black and white or gray. And I'm only going to add a drop. of the plum pearl. Because it's just going to have a slight tint. I also use the purple pearl in some shading that I do to it. But before I hit it with that, I'm going to go ahead and dry this. Now on this, with the purple, I'm not going to go all the way down. It's just going to mainly be on the top, on the back of the bait. Now on this, with the purple, I'm not going to go all the way down. It's just going to mainly be on the top, on the back of the bait. Okay, now what I was saying about doing some shading, I'm going to go with some chartreuse, well, fluorescent yellow, through the tail back here, and then I'm going to add some purple up in here, so it like shimmers a little. I'm going to go real light though, right about where you want the shad dot. And that's just for shading. I'm going to save that just in case I need a little bit of it. And you only need a drop or so of this stuff for what I'm doing. I hold it at an angle and just kind of shoot that tail. I might hit, I'm gonna hit right here in the gill area, just very fine. Gonna go ahead and dry it. And I'm gonna lightly take everything off now. This is always my favorite part because it kind of reveals what the bait is going to look like. Now here's where I'm going to do the shad dot or kill dot, and I'm also gonna lightly go in the eye sockets to do some shading for where when you put the eyes in it doesn't look goofy and unfinished. You want to try to get your dots even, so find a place on the bait that you can match to the other side. Go. Right about there. Now right here, you're gonna get your steady hand. Just do a little bit of shading. Now that purple that I saved over here, I'm going to use that on the nose to darken up the face a little. The black's a little bit harder to get out of the gun than some other colors are. I'm going to go very lightly here. I'm just trying to darken up that face. Now I could clear it like this, but I got to have my sparkle to it. So now I'm going to get rid of this purple, so I can use my little cup, and I'm going to do a blue sparkle. It's actually a color shift that I like to use. I think it gives a really good finish. It's this dragonfly glaze, and this is the violet blue green shift. I feel like it's meant for a shad. You ain't gonna need a whole lot because it goes a long way. I'm talking like a little bit, and it's really thick, so it takes a lot of this. If you can see in my cup there. And you just want this to become like the milk, just like everything else. And you want to clean the gun right after you shoot this, or it gums up pretty bad. And it takes a while to mix, but when it does, it shoots really good, for me anyway. Some of the glitters clog real easy, so I stay away from that. We hit this that I painted. Get a lot of glitter in this. Make it pop. I even do the belly. And go for some more. The lighting's bad in here, but I'm gonna clear it, and then I'll post a picture after I clear it, so it'll be in the video too. Alright, so I'm going to clean my guns, put the eyes on, and clear it, and I'll include it at the end of the video. Thanks for watching.